Hey, what up, y'all? What it do? What it do? Just as a disclaimer, we're waiting on Kingreph to get in. If by some chance, things come up, you better believe there shall be a continuation to this. So I'll try to give y'all as much of my time as I can, but I like to make that disclaimer because things do happen on people's schedules, and just in case they weren't able to be here, I'll be doing definitely a continuation, but we're still gonna at least jump in and talk initially, get some things out the way. This has been something I've been wanting to talk about. What's good, Brown Do Life? What's good, fam? Yeah, I'm gonna get back into the swing of things with these live streams. I tried to do a live stream the other night, but I just had a bad connection, like with my phone service. It was man. So I had to actually cancel that live stream, which is rare for me to do. But yeah, in regards to tonight, I'll just lightly touch upon some things while we wait on King Ref to get in the building. But yeah, if we see what is going on right here, we see that um adults, yeah, do you really see these folks as being adults? But I guess you have to, because these people look different in high school chairs than actual people from high school. Like all the high school kids, you look back, when you was coming up in high school, you probably were like, well, hey, I thought I was grown. I thought I was mature. And then, 10 years later, come time your high school reunion, you look back, you're like, dang, I look like a little scrawny kid back then, though I thought I was grown. So I guess that's my point. You still have to call these folks adults that are still in high school, because they don't look like their high school pictures. We know that already. But guess what? They're still trying to live out those high school days, especially these females that aren't women. They still trying to look a certain way, like as if they're in high school. It's like, sweetie, it's been like 20 years since you were last in high school, and you're still going about looking a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, as a side note, I'll just kind of add this in here as well. But yes, my channel name change shall occur very soon. But you can still call me the other Ray J. You can still call me that on the side if you want to. No biggie. But just look at it, y'all. Everybody's got their own cliques. They got their own little clubs. They got their own little section, their own little group, especially on these social media spaces that we see. Who's part of the cool clique? Who's part of the cool crowd? Now what's cool? Even this high value man thing, that's cool now. That's in style. Nothing against Kevin Samuels at all. I'm just saying that's what people want to go by. They want to be cool. It's really all these chicks that, they aspire to be with what? The hottest guy in town, the hottest guy at the school, and they're shooting for the high value man. They've had all the jocks in high school, in this adult high school. They've had all the jocks, right? They've had all of the dusties that always skip school and will go out and sell drugs on the block. Those type of dudes that do just enough to graduate, or even if they have to do summer school or go back a grade, you know, those kind of guys. These chicks still dealing with the same type of guys that they dealt with in high school. See, does that tell y'all something? Chicks talking about leveling up, but you're still dealing with the same type of guys that you dealt with in high school. Ironically, some of these chicks are still dealing with those same type of guys from high school. And you see a lot of these guys are still the same as they were from back in high school. A lot of these guys will rarely change. Now, I'll tell y'all something. When I was graduating high school, all of the dudes from the block, this is what happens. Everybody like, what's your hood story? Okay, I don't really like to talk like that, but I guess, I'm from the hood, in some ways. I was just never like the hood. From the hood, but I'm not of the hood, if you know what I'm talking about. But they would see me come home with dirty clothes, landscaping. So all the dudes eventually were like, yo, Ray actually, he never got caught up like we did, and he turned out to be like a hardworking guy. Like, man, I've always worked this hard, but yeah. Yeah. Hey, what's good, Black Goliath? Yeah, we waiting on Kingreph to get in the building. This could possibly be a sequel. Just in case Kingreph doesn't show up, he did have a pretty tight schedule today. So look forward to that sequel if he's not able to show up. But I'm just kind of, I guess, giving y'all a prelude before he comes in the building, or if we're gonna have another one, another one. But good to see you in the building, Black Goliath. Good to see you. Uh, you said Venom. I blame Monsanto for the GMOs in the present confusion. Yeah, facts, Venom. By the way, what's good, fam? You said Brown do life. The other Ray J. Nah, man, the high value term is way too blown out of proportion. Oh, I feel you. Yeah, but see, imagine a chick like in high school, right? And I hate to say this, man, so I'm not really trying to bash the term either, high value man, but who was the high value man in high school, if there was one? For these chicks, it was the sugar daddy. It was the older guy that pulled up to pick her up after high school. And I hate to say this because there's a lot going on right now legally. We talk about what's going on with Brother Polite. So I don't want to speak too much on that situation. But let's say that a lot of chicks were getting pulled. They were getting picked up by older guys even back then from high school. That was their high value man. It was the sugar daddy that picked her up after cheerleading practice, right? Or every so often, it was probably a rich guy in high school, but that's rare. Most chicks did not deal with the rich guy that was in high school. To them, rich was the doughboy. But if they wanted that high value, it was actually the older sugar daddy that pulled up and picked her, and he pulled up and picked her up after high school. You know what I'm saying? But ironically, they want that sugar daddy now. I mean, we need to go back. We need to go back to some of these older terms. Uh, a lot of gals want to be sugar babies now, no matter how old they are. So it's still like high school to this day and age. You know, chicks want to be picked up by some guy in a nice car and, ride out into the sunset. You said, Black Goliath. The irony of adulthood is when you look back on high school, the sequence of disruption with maturity trifles awareness with maturity. Facts. It's crazy, man. It's like a boomerang effect. We see a lot of mannerisms, especially in these spaces. It's like high school. Uh, One thing I can say about the guys out on the streets, and not that I profess to be part of that, nor do I support it. Um, yeah, nor do I support the life out in the street. One thing about those guys back then, they didn't play no games. That's why they prefer the streets versus the high school, because they learned about real life early, even though it was still kind of a sub world. I won't say subculture, but a sub world where they were really out there on the blade, not necessarily doing streetwalker work, but they were into the D-boy stuff. You had some gangbangers. They were really learning about life. Like they looked at jocks and all these clicked up dudes as like breakfast, you know. So it reminds me of I forget the TV show, but it had Tupac and it had Jada Pinkett in that TV show. And then it had the dude that she was with who was like the top jock. So this is like the battle of, I guess, the top alpha kind of guy. But some guys would probably say actually the doughboy was the Sigma type of dude, and the jock obviously was the alpha kind of guy. He led his group. He was top athlete, top letterman in the school. But we still see that dynamic now, where you might have a guy who might be on swole. He might have an NFL career. He might be a top exec, but he keeps himself in shape. But then you got this dude that just did time out in the yard. He did like at least 15 years felony. Ain't got no money, but chicks like he got that thug style. You know, we still seeing this dynamic of high school. Like y'all saw the thumbnail, guy raising up his hand. You know, like y'all see that this stuff still goes on now. What do you do before you start your job? You gotta what? Go to orientation. See what I'm saying? Let's see what else y'all said. You said Brown do life. Uh the other Ray J, chicks getting brainwashed to find qualities in guys that are materialistic and external because of high value facts. Facts. Hey, what's good, Adrian? Hey, I think I got you the mod, man. I think I got you a wrench, man. I appreciate your support. You said Ice Turner deleted his community post when I called him out for buying views on 2 of his videos. He's a square. Facts. Facts. You know what I'm saying? That's how, you know, you buy views, you do anything for clout. You know, like what Offset said, you know, you do anything for clout. You do anything for clout. And, you know, it be like that. Dudes do anything for clout until they get knocked out while they're in high school. So y'all know how that goes. But usually what happens is every now and then the dude gets knocked out by, you know, a top jock. You know, it's like not really one of those kind of alpha kind of guys trying to fit in with the clique, but really like he the what you would consider. I know you might understand where I'm coming from, Venom. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you fellas too, but you know, Venom, he the OG out here right now, you know, out here on this chat right now. So you know, I know, you know, sometimes you'll have this alpha of alphas per se, and he didn't play no games. He was like the top athlete. He was the most athletic guy, and he didn't play no games. Like he called the shots on all the athletes in high school, and he was the guy that knocked you out when he realized you was playing games. Like he didn't have time for that. But you may have those sub alpha kind of guys that, oh, they're gonna fit in with the clique. They're gonna look like they the boss, but they not the boss of bosses. But then you had this other guy that would knock you out in high school. He was the now you got bullies too, but bullies actually they put up good fights, but the bullies got knocked out in high school too. So what we seeing now happen is that you have trollers, but they would be considered bully. They would be still considered bullies, but in this space we call it cyberbullying. Now, YouTube and other places have defined cyberbullying and trolling as 2 different things, even harassment on top of that as another different thing. But somehow they all can tie in together. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Golden Child? What's good, fam? Appreciate you putting up the cash app. I'm pretty sure that will be flooding through very soon. I'm gonna just keep trying to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but this is what's going on out here. We see all these different influences, all these different clicked up situations going on, and I think that's kind of a detriment because public spaces, public school, public high school, get it? You know, there's not enough privacy. There's not enough dedication to one being dedicated to you. Everybody just trying to fit in right now. So when I saw the manosphere, the way that's going, the way that's been going, not just the black manosphere, all color manospheres, I said no. I'm not fitting in with that. And you know, you got the alpha sphere too, but nothing against them either, because actually this thing called the alpha sphere, I get that. You know, alphas actually should have a group because leaders have to learn from other leaders. So I get this idea of an alpha sphere. You know, you want guys that feel they're more led and more prone in a certain direction than other guys. So I get that, right? But still, like with yours truly, like, heck, y'all know me, y'all see my avatar, you know, not this one you see right now, you know, but y'all see me as the wolf, but not that I'm like really on the whole Sigma male thing, but I do stand alone as a wolf out here. I've been that way. Not that I've ever wanted to be that way, not that I ever chose to be that way, but it ended up that way for me. And even in high school, if y'all were to like look at my photo albums, yeah, my photo albums back from high school and stuff like that, you wouldn't see me clicked up with a lot of guys. Like on a lot of my other profiles, um, You don't see me clicked up with a lot of guys like that. Now, not to even bash those who call themselves Sigma, I believe like I've had a lot of Sigma characteristics as well as, certain alpha type of characteristics. I had a lot of those different characteristics, but obviously there was a certain Sigma characteristic there because, hey, I was a loner, but I stood out as a loner. So there was something different about me that didn't just quite make me 100% Sigma. I was something like just something on a different vein. But no, you didn't see me like what from me being from St. Louis. There's this term called we be mob deep, not like the rap group mob deep, but meaning that you got like 8 homies with you, or you got like 12 homies. When y'all take a picture, it's like 12 of y'all. I never really had that growing up for real. I've always like moved solo, and it's funny because a lot of the OGs, no matter what game he comes from, rap game, dope game, corporate game, no matter where he comes from, or even if he's no game, if you will. A lot of guys, as they get older, they champion the idea of rolling solo. They embrace it more because you can't trust the homies that you mob deep with, that you clicked up with. See, the funny thing was, all the guys that I saw clicked up and deep, as time went on, they all turned on each other. And we see that out here in these spaces. Guys turn on each other all the time. And of course, I had to deal with that recently, with Ice Turner turning on me. But that's here nor there. Like, at least like with me and Ice, we weren't like really clicked up, or we had a certain mob, or like, and not and nothing against like the mob term, because I know Golden Child said it earlier. But what I mean by that is you got like certain guys that they be more of a fake mob. Let's put it that way. They be more of a group type versus an actual conglomerate versus a bunch of guys coming together to really do something. You see what I'm saying? But still, at the end of the day, it's still, jacked up when you got guys that turn on you. Y'all can't work it out. Y'all can't stick together. It's still like high school out here. You know what I'm saying? You said fire pack. Facts show so many snakes out here. Ice was in competition with you. Facts. And I wasn't even in competition with him. I wasn't. You got that out here though. Like when you're on a team, you're not competing with when you got someone on your team, you don't compete with them. You motivate them, you push them, but you don't compete with them. You know what I'm saying? You actually motivate them. Like that's what was cool. Like that's what was real cool about T.I. and dang, don't tell me this guy's name. Young Dro. There you go. Actually, I feel that Young Dro has the most Atlanta sound of all the rappers from Atlanta. Yes, I said it. Shout out to Young Dro. But out of all the new Atlanta trap rappers, to me, Young Dro is the most Atlanta sounding of all the Atlanta rappers. I love me some Young Dro, making that shoulder lean. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, pause. Okay. But him and T.I., they didn't really like compete with each other when they were in the studio, when it was all like Grand Hustle. And I think Young Dro was part of Grand Hustle. I don't know if he still is, but him and T.I. would like push each other. Like that's why they was coming up with so many hot tracks back in the day when they first when Young Dro first signed up with Grand Hustle, because he used to be like me and T.I., we used to get in the studio like really like push each other. If you come out with a track, I'm gonna come out with like two of them, but they're gonna be sounding hard. They would like feed off each other. It was just dope. And that's what guys do when they are like on the same team. But yeah, like you get more of these guys being more competitive, like the way a lot of these high school guys try to be, but then you end up the one tossed in the locker room, like stuck in a locker type of situation. You know what I'm saying? Because you might have these guys that call themselves bullies, but then you have these other guys that like, oh, we ain't going for that, bro. And they'll put that dude in the locker. You know what I'm saying? And no one remembers the combination, that type of thing. They got to call the principal. But we see that now, guys in this day and age, they don't get stuck in lockers. They just get stuck in, they get stuck, they get put in the trunks of cars, things like that. So it's still like a certain element out here. Like What else can I think of? And feel free y'all to throw me some examples out there like y'all always do, and I appreciate everybody's feedback. I appreciate y'all feedback a lot. Um, but there's a lot more to what is said about like a lot of this high school behavior. Okay, beyond high school is what? College. College, you allegedly supposed to acquire more knowledge. But last time I checked, when I went to college, actually, I had to reverse my knowledge. I didn't learn more knowledge in college. I had to reverse my knowledge. Anybody else had a similar experience when you went to college? I did because I thought I knew everything going to high school. Then when I went to college, they basically reversed my knowledge of everything that I knew. And I was like, hold up, they didn't tell me this in high school, right? They didn't tell me this history. Like, hold up now. So it got me more to wanting to study it. But at the time, I didn't really think about it. It didn't really hit me like that. But that's when I learned, like, a lot of professors, like a lot of times when you get to college, it's not really education, it's indoctrination. And you know what I'm saying? You basically you be like, hold up, man. Yo, you be just having like a clusterfuck. You'd be like, no, I can't believe this. You'd be tripped out, right? So I think like right now, what we see is still a lot of guys and a lot of gals, if you will. They haven't taken that next step to reverse their knowledge. They haven't gotten to that college level with their way of thinking. They're still stuck in what they know. They're not even willing to reverse their knowledge. We used to always think, especially in this space here, we used to think that, well, this red pill will reverse their knowledge. The red pill was supposed to take them to this higher knowledge. And in many ways, it has. But unfortunately, some folk have dumbed down that higher education. Now you have online degrees. You know what I'm saying? You have this online education, indoctrination that we see out here in these spaces. Oh my goodness. We can really go deep in this because um it's crazy because now it's like with whatever people saying about what red pill is and all these other pill logics, it's not really reversing your knowledge, it's just causing you to go in reverse, it's causing you to go backwards with your way of thinking. So now you're seeing people still resort to immature tactics. Wow, you got females that are, oh my goodness, like, come on. Can I say this, y'all? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, man. Put some fire emojis in the chat, y'all, if y'all really want me to go there with what I'm gonna say. Put a fire emoji up. Somebody do that. Man, that's something I want to say so bad. It's on the tip of my tongue because it really represents this whole high school situation. Like the whole crust of it, the whole like bottomless pit of why adulthood is like high school. Man, let me see this. You said Venom. They get checked and or pulled up on by the principal. Okay, fire pack. Yep, fire gonna put up that fire. Yeah, that's what's up, fam. Okay, here we go. What's going on just like high school? It's always pussy involved. It's always pussy involved. You would think you get to a higher level, there would be less pussy involved. Not saying there should be no pussy involved, but it seems to always be pussy involved. So in adulthood, no different. You got, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to talk about the guys out on the street now. Not all the way, and yeah, no disrespect, just going off of what we know already. You got guys that get in gang wars over pussy. Okay, and you got guys in high school, they fight over pussy. You meet the dude after school, and he like, yo, you talking to my girl, man, and I saw you doing this whoop de whoop, after I was playing ball, and I saw you trying to kiss my girl. Oh, we gonna have it out. Meet me outside after 7th hour. You gonna get this work. You gonna get this work. And now you see dudes, what, they online or they out here in these spaces, dudes like, you find out, you know, somehow pussy got involved in the situation. Dudes like, you're gonna get this work. You got dudes on panels out here talking about they're gonna get this work. I know you're doing this and that. Or you got dudes shaming other guys about their pussy that they can't get, or the pussy they got ain't good enough that they got. So dudes like, oh man, you can meet me outside, I'll come see you. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. Okay. So all these different behaviors, man. I'm gonna get you after 7 hour. Hey, y'all gonna have to say that next time. Like, I'm gonna get homeboy at the 7th hour, man. I'm gonna meet him outside, dog. You know what I'm saying? I saw him at lunch break when we was at lunch on the playground. You know, of course, in high school they didn't really have the playgrounds. You know what though? I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I wish they had high school playground, man. That should have been dope. Having a high school playground. I don't know why I felt like. I mean, what would a high school playground be like? Because y'all just know, like, uh, when they had lunch, you was just inside. Why did they have us inside for lunch? Why did they have us inside? Like at my school in high school, they had us inside the cafeteria for lunch. How come we couldn't go outside and eat food? You know what I'm saying? Like we did in elementary and middle school. I think even in middle school, to be honest, no, man, we didn't have a recess. There you go. There was no recess in middle school. There was no recess in high school. You know, in prison, they don't call it recess. They just call it the yard. It's funny because, you know, in prison, they be like, and I just, you know, I got an uncle that was incarcerated, so I could talk about this. But he like, it's different from when you were in school, man. You know, in school, you always want to run outside. But in prison, you don't want to run outside. You know what I'm saying? So I think with that said, you know, maybe I don't know whoever came up and designed this idea of middle school and high school. Maybe they were like, oh, there would just be too many fights that would take place if we had them outside for recess, you know. So we're only going to keep them inside for lunch. But hey, I'm gonna tie this in with y'all. Adulthood is still high school. What is going on right now? We call this the reset. What's going on right now during this pandemic, allegedly. And so what has happened? Some of us are now able to go outside. They're trying to have recess. They call it living their best life, but folk are just having recess. Woo. Hold on, let me see what y'all saying right quick though. Let me see what y'all saying. Oh yeah, we definitely gonna do a repeat on this. I'll have to check on Kingreph. Looks like yeah, he has some things that looks like he probably running a little tight, but we definitely gonna, you know, we're gonna get him in the next one for sure. If I'll give y'all a few more minutes. This is just kind of a prelude. Okay, Brown Do Life. Come on through. I should be here for a few more minutes by the time you get out. Let's see what y'all saying though. You said Brown Do Life. He said, since Brown Do Life going to the shower, he said the manosphere version of the red pill sets guys backwards. Absolutely. Yep. And then Brown Do Life also said, like the current beef going on in the manosphere. And then you said also Brown Do Life, fresh and fit, fresh and grift are finished. Hey man, it's just like, you know, the top jocks, man, in high school, man. You know, you got the fly guys, but then you find out they don't fly high. You know, and that's not a shot at fresh and fit or fresh and griff, you know. But I'm just saying, you do have guys that you thought were fly guys, but then you find out that they cannot fly high. You see what I'm saying? You said Venom or the road beasts play both sides and play them against each other. Yep, they do that too. Okay, looks like, yep, looks like I'll have to reschedule. Yep, King Ref just sent me a message, so we definitely going to reschedule this. But we still going to I'm going to give y'all a few minutes to give y'all a prelude because it's only going to get hotter. You know what I'm saying? Once we get King Ref in the building for it. Let's go here though. You said Brown Do Life also said sex is put on at such a high pedestal to the moon, yo. LOL. It's amazing that it turns guys into boys over the box. Yep. And then as a side note, as I continue to read y'all comments, I'm gonna give y'all a double header tonight, just to kind of chop this up because I usually give y'all an hour. So we'll do this for a half an hour. Give me a break, and I'll come back through and do another live stream for y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll do more about the high vibrational man. Possibly, we'll see. just giving a day of this live stream. But I'll definitely be back here. Be back here in a few minutes. Give y'all a double header. So I appreciate y'all every time y'all show up for show. But I got y'all for show. Let me see what else y'all said. Okay, we got to the bottom of the comments. Okay, so we had 30 minutes. I'll give y'all a few more of my thoughts as more so a prelude until we do a continuation of this, because this ain't really a sequel. This just definitely gonna be a continuation. I'll pick up where I left off, right? But right now, folks just having recess. That's what's going on. That's exactly what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. And a lot of the behaviors out here people are having, you don't see that it's of growth. Guess what happens? People flunk. People don't pass. You see what I'm saying? People don't make it to their graduation. At least Kanye said this about him graduating. See what I'm saying? But I would say folk don't even make it to their graduation. You know, they don't. People, if we're going to say that adulthood is still like high school, you know, some folks don't keep themselves up. Some folks still get rumors spread about them, just like in high school. Okay. Um, Now Instagram, all these social medias, you know, you get DMs. Okay, that's no different than back in the day when you used to have someone pass you the letter when they want to talk to you. Of course, now, you know, with kids growing up this day and age, they got cell phones. They'll just text each other, but it's still the same thing. You know, you texting in classroom, you're supposed to be learning something. Put that phone down. You know, if I had, you know, if I had kids in this high school day and age, you know, I'd be like, they, oh, hold up, y'all, hold up. Kingreph in the building. Kingreph in the building. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, what up, fam? What up? What up? You gotta let me see. You gotta let me, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
unmute
yeah,
yourself. There you go. What's
yeah.
good, fam?
Uh, Nothing much. I apologize. Um, you know, I overslept honestly. But what you been talking about so far?
Oh man. Yeah, I might actually take this. Let me see something here. I don't know why this doing this. I thought like I'd be able to let me see something. I should be able to hear you better than this. But it's all good. We're gonna rock it out. We're gonna rock it out. Uh yeah, you got a lot of connection on this stuff. No, we just man. Yeah, we've been going heavy, man. First and foremost, just to kind of go over some things. I just mentioned how just like high school, it seems like pussy is still involved in all these situations, just like in high school. You know, dudes fighting each other, just like they did in high school. You know, you get a dude that's mad at another dude. He'd be like, I'm gonna come see you outside after the seventh hour. Because you know, they didn't really have no recess at high school. Just had that lunch period, but he might be in a different grade, so he ain't got the same lunch period you do, unless you try to sneak out of class and, you know, hit him up before he gets to his next class. So, but yeah, since pussy is still involved, you know, dudes supposed to be working their way up in life, and somehow they still getting pussy involved. Dudes clicked up, but they still having pussy involved, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. And I'm just looking through the comments, and Fresh and Grift are finished. Yeah, Fresh and Fit, they lost hella subscribers because they was at like over 450K, and now they're like barely at 400. I don't even know their numbers right now. They might even be like 397 or something. Yeah, they lost a lot of subscribers because first off, not only did they come at a man's wife, but they did it to people that have a pretty solid reputation. Like Aba and Preach have a solid reputation on YouTube because all they do is react to videos and just state their opinion. Now, I'm not saying everyone likes them, but they came at a much bigger channel that already got 1 million subscribers already, and just things just backfired. You feel me? So
Oh, facts, man. That's kind of yeah, and I haven't even looked at what made them fall out like that, but yeah, when you involve more pussy into the conversation instead of purpose into the conversation, you're pretty much done. You know,
yeah,
it's good to
exactly.
talk about the women here and there, but here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And adulthood is still high school. Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of things that happen in the workplace, a lot of things that, because I mean, if we're being real, like in this day and age, what happens in a workplace is stuff that you've seen in high school already, and that's the most time that people spend. Like people spend more time at work than they do at home these days.
Yep.
And then you gotta take into consideration a lot of people, they drive um an hour plus to work, and then it could be 90 minutes to 2 hours depending on the traffic. So a lot of people's lives revolve around work. And in the workplace, it's the same thing. A lot of people don't really evolve from high school because they're not in a position to evolve. They don't have to evolve. Like most people that you see in the workplace, they don't evolve because, and it ain't no disrespect, but they're average people, and average people don't want to evolve. Like it's fine to just be like everyone else. So that's one
Mm-hmm.
of the things that make adulthood, you know, similar to high school. Like a lot of people, they judge you for the same things. Like the things that you're judged as far to see where you rank in high school is similar to adulthood. It's just bills just come involved. That's it. You feel
Yep.
me?
Yep. They're gonna be looking at the type of shoes, like every time season school starts, they're gonna be seeing if you got on the nice shoes and stuff. So nowadays, instead of that, basically being in season or back to season is what your social media looking like, or in real life, like what kind of clothes you wearing, how you live, and how do you have food to eat, how you getting around. You know what I'm saying? Like what's really popping about you. So that's no different than if in high school, if you were like the top athlete, the valedictorian, or you had the best grades, or you had cool points with the principals and stuff like that. Uh, and then another thing is, I was saying earlier, like, because we was talking about the high value man aspect, but I was saying like the high value man equivalent in high school, if you will. Most people would say the richest kid in high school would be a lane. Most people went to public schools, not charter schools, where they don't see wealth like that in the charter schools. So the high value man, if you will, out of high school literally would be the high value man. It would be the sugar daddy that picks up the girl after she's done with school.
Yeah, exactly. 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 And another thing too, like you're getting paid, so the stakes are even more different. Like, how can I explain this? Like in high school, if you're a weirdo, it's like adulthood forces you to be more into conformity. You feel me?
Hmm.
Like it's like if you're your own person in adulthood, it's like people can't rock with you like that.
Right. That's so true. Yeah, individualism. Individualism is frowned upon in high school. You know, you either stood out. What's good, Sigma Enigma? You either stood out or you were the outcast. But outcast, yeah, that's different. Everybody knew about the outcast. Everybody knew about the outcast. But the person that stood out, or some people would say the outlier, if you will, like nobody liked that type of person either. Like that was me personally, because I said, yo, I ain't want to be clicked up. But yeah, I was like the most athletic one at my high school. I mean, we talking about from freshman year all the way to senior year. But yet I was by myself at the table drawing pictures. I didn't want to be clicked up. People would still come to my table because I would draw though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And see, let me drink this real quick. And see, what you said was gold, man. What you said was gold. One of the also things that adulthood is still high school, man, is how petty people are, man. The
Mm,
pettiness doesn't stop. So yeah, there might not be as much fights, but the smart remarks, the just just the pettiness, it's just the same, man. It's just the same. Like, and you know me, like I was in high school uh between 2010 and 2014. So I already got my diploma 7 years ago. And I could tell you firmly, man, just working and just my observations of things, it's the same. It's pretty much the same. Yeah, there's a little difference, but it's pretty much the same. Like I could even go as far as to say, like with college, right? College is a slightly different. Well, college is a part of adulthood, but you know, even when it comes to college, those things that we was talking about still apply. You know, people rank you based off of, what degree you have, your ranking. Like a lot of it's just like, how can I explain it? When it comes to like middle school, I consider middle school to be like whoever you are at heart, right? In middle school, you're gonna be socially grinded into the gutter. Like I consider middle school the gutter,
mm-hmm,
and then your master's fully realized by high school.
mm,
That's how I see it.
mm,
Because my experiences in middle school were vastly different than high school. And
mm.
obviously for good reason, but because my experience in high school wasn't really bad. But it's just one of those things I've noticed. Like when it comes to middle school, the conformity is like the social engineering is amplified in middle school. Because bro, you got to think, bro. Like middle school normally hits around puberty for people. So
Right.
let's say the woman, the the girls, because they're not really women yet, but they hit puberty between uh fifth and sixth grade. Whereas with the boys, they reach puberty seventh to eighth, right? Or they start developing. So when it comes to middle school, you got your hormones are raging like crazy. And it's like for the first time you experience what it's like not being cuddled. Like elementary school, you have more room for mistakes. Whereas with middle school, you don't. So by the time you get to middle school, it's like you're fully most people's indoctrinations are damn near complete by at least freshman year of high school.
Mm.
By freshman year high, because high school in the movies they make it seem like high school is like the craziest thing, and maybe it was at one point. Maybe it was, in the 80s or whatever. But as time went on, because I was in middle school from 2007 to 2010. Yeah, it was fall 2007 to spring 2010. Well, basically June 2010. So, and my observations is when it comes to middle school, it's so much more amplified. So a lot of people's behaviors, even though adulthood is still like high school, how people mentally stayed the same is due to middle school. That's where I'm going with this.
Oh yeah, it carries over because what happens is like, based on your school district, you know what I'm saying? You had to work your way up, like your reputation from elementary to middle school. Then when you get to high school, you see all the other schools come together, but you've already been established in your identity. So, uh, luck of the draw, you happen to have a very strong identity that'll help you get through high school. Whereas others, they're a little bit on the other side with it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but yeah, speaking of the elementary and the middle school, I brought up earlier how it's funny how like in elementary school there was recess, but in middle school and high school there was no recess. I guess depending on the school district though.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It creates the see. I'm so glad you brought the recess point because it goes over niggas' heads. The thing about recess is, in my school, in my middle school, they started implementing recess in the 8th grade. That
Mm,
that was almost unheard of during that time. So it had to be like fall 2009, but that's when it became a K through 8. A lot of
mm,
schools became a kindergarten and 8th grade instead of having its own. That's why a lot of like middle schools are almost things of the past, man. They're almost things of the past because what they're doing now, I don't know what it's like around other parts of the US, but they're turning them into K through 8s to save money, essentially.
damn.
Yeah, that's what they're doing because I was in middle school and my middle school is wilding. And they told us the first day of 8th grade when it was like a K through 8, y'all gotta sharpen up your behavior because we got little kids here. That's what they told us.
Damn.
And bro, let me tell you this, bro. Middle school was so much more wild than high school. Like teachers in middle school, they was hyping up high school like it was gonna be the worst thing on earth. Like you was gonna walk in Afghanistan. Bro, middle high school was a breeze, fam. High school was a breeze. Middle school was the real thing, bro. Like some of the wildest stuff I've seen was in middle school, bro.
Damn.
Real talk, bro. High school was a breeze, fam. And the high school that I went to wasn't even a good high school. So
Mm,
that speaks volumes. But the reason why I brought up the whole K through 8 thing is because they're amplifying the indoctrination by having those kids share space with each other. Because you gotta think about it, man. Even if even if 6 to 8 graders sharpen up their behavior, there's still 6 to 8 graders. You
yeah.
understand?
Puberty.
Yeah, exactly. So
Mm, mm, mm.
yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that's just been going on tied to that. Another point I want to make is let me drink this real quick.
Y'all hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button, especially on the replay. Share this one. Share this one.
Another point I want to make is that when it comes to a lot of kids, right? The heaviest indoctrination is the 6th and 7th grade. because by 8th grade, you just graduate. It's between 6th and 7th. Now, why are those grades vital? Because you're oftentimes going to be a different individual by the time you get prepared for high school versus when you just leave in elementary. Whoever you was in elementary, they try to destroy that individual. Because I've seen, I remember vividly. I've seen, it sounds cliche, but I've seen good girls in 5th grade who had, you know, Christian households become sluts. It's 7th grade, 6th or 7th, just like that.
Damn.
Just like that, bro. That's middle school's the real gutter, bro. Now, how does this relate to adulthood still being in high school? It relates because haven't you noticed with a lot of guys, they have a lot of feminine tendencies. They have a lot of, you know, pussy ass behavior, you know, in general. They just do.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in the workplace. Now, why is that? It's because they killed recess. There's no recess for people who need recess the most, which is people who are in the middle school puberty range. So if you don't have that type of outlet, right, as a male, this is where the rifts between the genders begin. Because even though men and women are just biologically different on damn near every level, we still desire the companionship of the opposite sex.
Damn, that's deep. You brought that up because ain't that how like most people got with each other was when they had that recess and you could like go on the playground and talk. You know, she blushing, she looking at you, and you go over there and interrupt her while she doing double dutch or jump rope or something like that. Man, in high school, you barely get a chance to get at the gal because she might be of a different grade, different class, different semester. Ain't that what's going on right now?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And that's the thing that makes it like very, very difficult because as a male, like schools are designed mostly for women. They're not designed for boys. And most of your teachers are women who have no relation to you. So let's say you grew up in public school, you're in the inner city, right? And you're, you know, me or the other Ray J or whatever. And, you know, all of us, we have similar, you know, coming to age stories, but we don't have that outlet. So not only is our hormones raging, but we don't have an outlet. This is why you
Mm,
have a lot of boys, they end up starting having a lot of offenses in middle school. Like I was suspended in middle school. You feel me?
mm.
And overall, like most people say, I was a good kid. You feel me? I was just doing just dumb stuff like throwing pencils and stuff. You feel me? It's because we didn't have that outlet. That outlet is more needed for men. Recess is more needed for men than women.
Facts. Facts. I think
So,
like with the pandemic too, and I said this earlier, like we think it's a reset, right? Like we would think that's what it is. But when they had it to where they had to stay at home orders and they started to what? Let us outside, if you will, and they thought it was recess. It's still not real recess for men though.
mm-hmm, it's
Like
not.
hence, like what Brown Do Life saying, like what the manosphere and dating coaches won't tell you is that sex has been dangled as a carrot for population control since the sexual revolution. Yeah, I mean, just holding back the recess idea. Uh, Now that the man has to be focused on the carrot, he can't be focused on doing things outside. Men haven't really done things outside for decades. You know, you may get some father teach he'll teach his son how to shoot rifles and stuff like that. but that's not the majority of most of the masculine population. They don't have that outdoor access.
Yeah, they don't. And the only time they really have it is outside of school. But this is the thing about school. Your life revolves around that
Mm,
period of time. This is
mm,
why a lot of males they start, getting into street activity, hanging with the wrong crowd, all that. And that's the topic
facts.
for another day, but that's the type of outlet.
Yeah.
School doesn't want you to challenge the environment, but that's what masculinity and being masculine is designed for. You, you know what's interesting? If instead of having recess, if niggas can just go out and hunt deer, their behavior would vastly increase. Vastly. Their grades would increase. Everything would increase because they would
Yep.
be in the closest natural state. The closest natural state, despite all the, stuff that's in the foods and all that. But they would be in the closest natural state to manhood.
That's deep. Like I said earlier, like with my uncle, because my uncle he did some time, and he says it's different when you out there, you're incarcerated, because when you young, what I'm saying, and you in school, like middle school and all that, you be ready to go outside. You want to play recess as long as you ain't have to fight nobody. But obviously in prison, you always got to fight somebody when you go outside.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So I think like in high school, that's probably why they got rid of recess. This is my own opinion, but they got rid of recess because they knew there was more likelihood of people fighting. They didn't want to have to set it up like a prison yard where they got to watch all the different activities that go on.
But here's the thing with that though. Here's the thing with that. Most their fears, right, as far as things will break out, it would happen in the classroom.
Yep.
It would happen in the classroom. And schools are tied to law enforcement. So that just that sounds like an excuse to me if any school's gonna use that. You feel me? If
Man.
any
But you
school's
know
gonna
what was
use
so crazy though? Like, in college, by then you already been indoctrinated. You've been brainwashed because notice how in college they just go straight from building to building. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
sick.
Exactly. 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 School is like prison in many different ways. So it's easy for guys to be indoctrinated. Like that's why a lot of guys they have like extremely feminine tendencies because they didn't have that outlet in the years in the vital years of their life for them to have that outlet. Now, don't get it twisted. Not all guys are designed to be outside and adventurous, but having that having access to that is still good regardless. No one's saying you gotta be overly social in recess. You can be by yourself, but you're getting some sun instead of artificial artificial lights and all that. So a lot of people don't understand how this stuff like ties in. Like you know what? Let's talk about the fresh and fit situation. Let's say fresh and fit were they grew up conventionally. They went to public school, whatever, and then got to college. A lot of those behaviors that they displayed with the aba and preach were probably done already in their
Hmm.
in the vital years,
Yeah.
in the vital years of growing up. So adulthood is still high school, man. It's still high school. Once you get
Yeah.
through
They
the
were.
meat grinder of middle school and recess is taken from you, especially as a man, this is why the gender dealings with the gender end up becoming separated because your experiences just become vastly different by the time you're 12. Vastly different.
Man, like this was like, if we could even make this live stream a longer title, you probably could just name it this, like, adulthood is still high school because there's no recess.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It is, it is, it is in so many different ways. In so many different ways, man.
Mm, mm,
So
mm, mm.
yeah, 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 it is. It is. Because by the time you're in high school, that's pretty much your personality for life, for the most part. You know,
Yep,
sometimes people might maximize who they was. Um, Sometimes people might change completely. But adulthood in general, like once you hit high school, that's pretty much your personality for life. And a lot
facts.
of people, even though like evolution is important, but again, I'm talking about the average person.
Facts. A lot of them wish they could still, like, I'll be seeing all these skits people do on IG and stuff, and they be like wanting to revisit that high school scene where they're sitting in the desk and all that. People like still wish like they can dress up every day, jump on that school bus, which the school bus, that's another conspiracy theory altogether too. That's another topic. But you know, they want to revisit that life. Like, people want to still like have high school every day. People don't want to go to work. People don't want to do all that stuff, man. So it's just, man, it's just crazy. Like, oh, and then I was gonna say, like, these chicks on the social media, they always catfish. They put out the picture from 10 years ago. They trying to still make you think she looks the same way she was back in high school.
Yeah, exactly. 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 Oh, another thing too, how adulthood is still like high school, man. Speaking of the females, right? Most females don't evolve past high school. Most of them
Facts.
don't. Like I've seen women, and this is why the whole thing with women hitting the wall at like 30, 35. Maybe there's truth to it, but I've seen women hit the wall literally by senior year high school or just right after graduation. I've seen that
Yeah.
where they was decent, and then right after high school, it's like, bro, like what happened? Like there's this one chick I went to middle school with, and she lived she lived in my neighborhood, but it's not like we were friends per se. And then I would just see her around, and then one time I seen it, I was like, bruh, you can't be serious. Like this was a year after after yeah, it was a year after high school. We didn't go to the same high school, but it was a year after high school, and I'm like, yo, shorty is obese, son.
Mm.
If you seen how, bro, if you seen how she looked like, you know, eighth grade, or when I used to see her around in high school, it was like a completely different person, bro. Like she went from like somewhat of a slim thick to obese, fam.
Mm.
It was a complete 180, man.
Damn.
But that's again, adulthood is still like high school, man. Only difference is, you got bills to pay, and the amount of people you deal with, depending on what you do, is going to be less.
Man. And this is might be interesting to you, and I don't mind sharing this publicly, man. But sometimes, like, I still have dreams about high school because the way life is out here. Some days I still like. Sometimes I still have dreams like, damn, am I going to graduate? Because that usually be the thought. Like when you're coming up in high school, at least for me, it was. It was like, I didn't have the baddest of grades. I did pretty decent for myself. I ended up with like a 3.6. That's not bad for an athlete. I was an athlete, so uh, but there was still this thought like, man, am I going to graduate? You know what I'm saying? Like, I still like having those dreams like now, because it's like with life, there's things you still got to go through. Like, you got to do orientations for jobs. You got to take exams for certain things you're trying to like let's say it's a certain trade or a certain profession you're trying to do. You got to take exams. Like even lawyers, they got to take bar exams. it's still all still the same in many ways. You even got these churches, they have Bible classes.
Exactly. You got to study for jobs. Certain positions you got to study for, man. Like the CNA position I applied to, I had to do a reading and math comprehension test, and both of them were like 25 or 40 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah. So it really just doesn't. It's not different than high school, because in high school I would have to. The exam would have been a week later or something like that, and I would have to study every single day and then go to class to do it. Whereas with this one, I just did it online at home. Adulthood is no different than high school. And another thing to validate the point, especially with this pandemic, bro. I mean, look what's been going on. A lot of people have been working from home. A lot of people been in school. They've been taking classes. They've been taking classes online through Zoom, and that's how
Yeah.
they've been getting their education. And adults is pretty much the same thing. They're on Zoom communicating with their boss, whereas a kid that's in high school is communicating with his teacher. And they're both having to take notes. They're both having to have Discord about um the project at hand. So whether the adult is dealing with a project that requires, money and resources, the the student is dealing with problems that relate to the curriculum. So it's really not that much different. And the pandemic has revealed that to us. It's revealed that a lot of us are using the same methods to get things done. Whether you're the adult that's in corporate that's working from home because you don't want to catch COVID, or you're the student in a public school taking Zoom classes with whoever's your teacher.
Facts, facts. Oh, on the side note, hey, Golden Child, it might be me. I might have to retype. I may have made a mistake, but just put one R in the Cash App for the other Ray J. Just one R, not two R's. That could be my mistake if you copied and pasted, but yeah, it's one R, not two R's. But yeah, man, it's crazy. But like even like with what I said earlier, like just based on what you said too, like with the fact that you different classes, different semesters. Dang, what else did I say? Uh, different periods, different grades. Like that's going on right now. Like different classism. Okay, different semesters. Everybody got different times they're doing things. Different grades. Like we got different ways we talk. Not just based on what you know. For some folks, it's about what type of game you have. You got to get somebody on your what level. So that means somebody on your in your grade. Like I don't know. I used to actually have a lot of older girls in high school like me. Like when I was a freshman, I had seniors liking me. Juniors, I had all the older girls liking me. I wasn't really into the girls around my age in my grade. So but once again, like with adulthood being like high school, uh, some guys you might have to stick with a chick from your grade. Within
Yeah,
your semester, within your class. Oh, class. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And another thing too, like in relation to that, is a lot of I know people are starting to find this out more and more, but a lot of female teachers are dealing with their students, man. So
Ooh,
it relates to the workplace.
facts.
There's certain female bosses that, deal with their, male employees, or vice versa. Just the dynamics don't really change like that from high school to, adulthood. It just doesn't. But with that being said, I don't know if there's anything else for me to add to this topic. I just definitely want to say salute to you, man, for having me on. I apologize for being late. Because I was like, man, I'm kind of worried. I don't know if I'll be able to hop on, but I decided to, try it anyway. So with that being said, I appreciate you for having me on, bro.
Oh, no problem, man. I already told him, you've been you probably was running tight because you had, probably some things you had to do, so there's no telling. So yeah, I mean, give it that, you probably had to go to sleep, things tight. So it's all good. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's good to have you on as well, fam. I mean, and for all I know, you might think of something else because you just woke up anyway.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Salute to the panel. Um, and yeah, thank you for having me on, bro.
All right, no problem, man. You can step out whenever you want. I'll just do a little closing statement right quick.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too, fam. All right, y'all. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Just an interesting perspective. Uh, Kingreph did show up, despite, maybe some things came up, things happened, but he showed up. But either way, we was going to get him one way or another because, we would have to do the repeat on this because y'all saw I threw that flame out at y'all earlier. So hopefully that was good for y'all. And Kingreph, he showed up, gave his input. And I hope, and it sounds like y'all still heard me well, despite like my microphone issues. I don't know what's going on with the connectivity these days, but before I roll out, I do want to check on what y'all been saying in the chat as well. So Brown Do Life, okay, we did bring this up, so I'll kind of touch upon it again. You said what the manosphere and dating coaches won't tell you is that sex has been dangled as a carrot for population control since the sexual revolution. But just think about how they be simping the little boys in those sex educational classes. That's a side note. I'll let y'all think about that. But those sex educational classes were actually simp educational classes, especially when Valentine's Day showed up. I ain't gonna lie, and much love to the gal that I went to high school with, but I was different because I wasn't the type to accept a chick being my Valentine if I felt like, yo, she all right, but I wanted the other homegirl. Yeah, but Valentine's got dudes in their feelings back even in high school, when the teachers would allow the students to pass around them notes. But you had to hope you didn't get your heart broken. Like usually people get their heart broken at graduation when everybody got to go their separate ways. You know what I'm saying? You found out you got to go to school down in like Texas, and she got to go to school all the way in Connecticut. So that's like, how y'all gonna work on being together? But then you go to college, you realize it's a bigger world out there. And that's something that maybe me and Kingreph could possibly touch upon down the road, but just this bigger world of college, like what does that really embody based on just what we have discussed tonight? Brown Dude Life, you said, when I was in middle school, there used to be recess in California. There better be. The way that weather is in California, there better be middle school recess there. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna also say, like, and I'll probably bring this up down the road for y'all, but I want y'all to think about this. I wonder if they had recess at Columbine High School. And if there had to be recess, would there have been more people that survived? I often wonder. I don't think they had recess at Columbine High School. I remember driving by Columbine High School for the first time. And I think just for the love and my condolences, uh, I think it's worth a drive for y'all to go by Columbine High School. I've done it one time and it's a different feeling. It's a nice area too. That's what's so crazy about it. But it's just a different feeling when you drive by Columbine High School. I kid you not. Round New Life, you also said colleges and universities have been infiltrated by leftism, Marxism ideology. I feel you on that. You also said, and now critical race theory is going to destroy the public school system. Yep. And then yeah, Golden Child, he updated the Cash App information. It could have been my mistype that he copied and pasted, but I definitely will have to correct that. But thank you for updating the Cash App information, Golden Child. I appreciate that. Yes, indeed. Feel free to Cash App to yours truly as a tip, you know, no expectation, no obligation, but all appreciation for those who just want to, you know, look out for yours truly. You know, I appreciate that either way. I just appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all time too, for sure. Venom, you said factory labor in the penal institutional system. You said factory labor in the penal institution system is the model of public schools. Yep. Yep. Just trying to make you into that factory worker, you know, just that everybody in that assembly line. And when you don't fall in line, you get suspended. Not everybody gets suspended because they had a fight with somebody. You know, to be honest, that's one of the main reasons why, though, I did not have a fight with somebody, because I did not want to have a suspension on my record. But best believe if I had it my way, I would have been had some smoke with folk. I promise y'all. I promise y'all. Real talk. Let's go. You said Venom. It is due to the fact that most people don't mature beyond high school mentality. Yep, that's facts. That's facts. Yeah, you already know Brown Do Life, SIP education class. Yep. Venom, you said 10 years and 200 pounds ago. Oh man. Yep. You said go to child, but the other one still works too. Hey, you know what though? Go to child. That probably might be somebody else's the other Ray J. Uh-oh. I don't know. There are other the other Ray J's, but I'm like that other the I can't even say it right. Forgive me. But anyway, there's other people out there named the other Ray J, but not like this one. But yeah, mine's only one R. So whoever has the two R's, they getting a little bit, but hey, now y'all know it's one R for me. Going forward. Yes. Oh man. But what I really gotta say though, I guess just really more of my closing statements, and feel free to still chime in, y'all, if y'all want to. We definitely gotta get past the high school with adulthood, because like Venom said, you know, uh most people don't mature beyond high school mentality. So really their mentality is not mature enough nowadays. I mean, heck, even in the penitentiary, they tell you that most of the people that are locked up there they have the mentality of a 15-year-old. That's still high school, y'all. And you see a lot of people still act a certain way, like they're still 15 years old, even now. Shout out to all the real 15-year-olds, even though they're probably not checking out this live stream due to the age restriction, possibly. But I'm just saying, it's rare that you would have a smart 15-year-old. I wasn't that bad at 15. You know, I was pretty much, I had a good head on my shoulders even at 15 years old. So there are some exceptional 15-year-olds out there, but I'm just saying, just with the general mentality of a 15-year-old, it's pretty basic, very emotional, just kind of driven by other feelings instead of what you need to be feeling or what you need to be thinking about. And so, yeah, you see that take place. And so even a lot of people that are incarcerated, they be like, yo, it's still like the backyard bully, or the backyard playgrounds, if you will, like what we dealt with in the yard. Even once I get released from prison, it's still like this now. So in many ways, high school is institutionalized, just like incarceration. So I would say adulthood is still high school. In many ways, adulthood is still like another prison. You know, people are still acting a certain way until you meet them outside. And that's kind of the terminology we even use even online when you feel like someone got a problem with you. You know, you'd be like, look, well, let me catch you outside. You know, so it's still a lot of this ways of where I think as a whole, we just all need to be outside and stay outside. But that's definitely for another conversation. But there are times you're gonna have to go inside too. But I think it should not be to the point of where you're institutionalized once you go inside from time to time. Hopefully this live made sense to some. Maybe this live did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live made sense to, feel free to hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. If this is your first time coming to my channel, you like my content, whether it's my uploads or live streams, for sure, you need to know there's definitely more coming your way. So make sure that you subscribe, share my live, as well as my other content. Just look into my archives. You'll see that my playlist consists of plenty, any, many, money, mo. Pick which one. But also look in the description section of this live stream. You'll see, well, you already see Kingreph3, the hashtag. So click on that, you'll get right to his channel. But also you'll see the other channels that I have. There have been some updates as I have changed a few of my channels over, just like I'm about to do with this one here in regards to the channel name. But yeah, a lot of new updates, a lot of other platforms that I'm on now. You'll see all that in the description section. So make sure you subscribe to my other YouTube channels as well as follow my other platforms. If you ever want to reach me, my email is also in the description section. You ever want to tip yours truly, that's also in the description section. And just like Golden Child did, I'll make sure that, at least for those watching on the replay, everything should be corrected. You know, hopefully there's no misspell on my part, but I'll definitely correct it if there is one. Okay. But make sure y'all hit that notification bell so that you get my uploads in real time. And for all the trolls, hey, if you don't like to be here, don't be here. Life is precious. Don't spend time trying to follow somebody else's wave. Make your own wave. Make your own wave. You know, everybody needs to have their own wave, if you ask me. But nevertheless, no matter what it looks like out there, even if there's some trolls, it's only going to get better from here. And it's only getting better from here for yours truly. And for the rest of y'all, which, you know, I keep the whole world in my prayers. Even the trolls. Mercy be upon you. Because we all just need to be walking in a new positive light. We all need a, we just all need to just be more positive out here. You know, I just believe in that. I believe in just having a better vibration in life. That's what we need to be doing now. But so with that said, y'all, much love to y'all. And I guess I didn't have to do the double header as I thought I would, because Kingreph was able to show up, but I'm definitely going to do a back-to-back. So didn't do the double header, but I'll be doing the back-to-back. So I'll have to think of a time I could do one of my live streams. Maybe tomorrow I'll come up with something, or just probably do one of my scheduled live streams, do it a little sooner than expected. But I know some of y'all miss me going live, and I miss y'all being here. I miss y'all just as much as y'all miss me. A lot of great changes have been coming about in my life, so that's why I've been busy, but I'm still putting out uploads pretty much. You know, every week I'm always putting out an upload, so expect that. That's for sure. But we're gonna definitely do more live streams as well. I just, my main thing is, y'all, I don't want to be like the other content creators, and nothing against the other content creators, but you got people that go live all the time, like every other hour or every other day. That's not me. I go live every other week of the month, so that at least when you know I'm going live, it's something special, it's occasional, you know, it's one of a kind. You know you're gonna be in for a good treat, versus me going live all the time, and then, you know, all of a sudden I start to dilute myself. At least if there's some times I go live and I'm a little bit on the off side, at least, you know, it's probably because, you know, Ray probably tired. He works hard. He's doing a lot of stuff outside of YouTube, versus you hearing a guy go live all the time and he's watered down, and you need to probably tell him, hey, you probably want to take a break from doing live streams. Just, chill out sometimes. We got you, we got you. Take a little break from doing live sometimes. So I just want to be well rested and ready to bring y'all these blockbusters that I know y'all got y'all popcorn, nachos, hot dogs, and sodas for. The show. You said Brown do life, especially in Afghanistan, especially for Afghanistan. Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. I saw a graphic video, horrific video, very horrific video of an Afghan that, a lot of them were trying to get loaded upon those Boeing C-17 Globe Masters that are for the Air Force. They're the cargo planes. They're the light cargo planes for the Air Force. The heavy cargo planes are the Lockheed C-5 Galaxies. Okay, but they were loading up the Boeing C-17 Globe Masters, and some of them Afghanis were trying to get on by any means to get lifted off, and one of them got stuck in the landing gear. And so you're up high in the sky, and you see this guy's body dangling because it was stuck in the landing gear, and he pretty much died because it's no pressurization when you're up that high and you're dangling and you're going at hundreds of miles an hour stuck in the landing gear. So it was very horrific to see for me. But yeah, man, shout out to Afghanistan. My prayers go out to Afghanistan just universally. I'm not going off people's political or religious beliefs. I'm going off the human belief. Just praying for them, man. No matter if they're in Afghanistan or if they're on their way from Afghanistan, or if some of them died in the midst of what has been going on in Afghanistan. You said also, Brown to Life, like Drake to Drake, back to back. Yep, back to back. You already know. But yeah, until next time, y'all, signing out. Much love, and thanks for stopping by. You already know.